bit of a technophobe, as most of you will know. And also, YouTube is, even though it says it's live, it's not actually live, it's slightly delayed. So what you hear, I've probably said 10 seconds ago. If that makes any sense. So I'll just wait and see if anybody pops in before I start waffling on. And let's flip you around. There we go. Obligatory shot of the swimming pool. Been swimming in that today already. Pool guys came yesterday. Oh, maybe nobody's awake yet. Ah, I have a viewer. Hi. So, still sorting out a little bit of settings, so please bear with. There we go. There we go. Okay, so pool is back up and running. We lost the electrolysis, which was rather careless. We didn't lose it, it just packed up for a few days, and it's amazing how quick the water will deteriorate if you haven't got a saltwater generator working properly in a saltwater pool. So the water went, quite cloudy, so we had to wait for the pool guy to come around, and he came around yesterday and sorted that out, got that working correctly, and literally within a few hours the pool is crystal clear. I woke up this morning, first thing I did was uncover the pool, absolutely perfect. So really pleased for that. It's always a little bit of a stress when you've got that amount of water and it's going a bit cloudy. You think, uh-oh, but no, it's all good. So that crisis was averted. I am rather tired. The reason for that is I woke up at 3 o'clock this morning. I guess your brain does things in the background whilst you're sleeping, and that's clearly what it was doing. And at 3 o'clock this morning I just went whoosh, sat up, bolt upright in bed. Oh fuck, forgot the temperature probe for the sauna. So the guys are here tiling the sauna, which is amazing. I'm going to do a video tonight. If you haven't seen the part 1 and part 2 videos, please watch that, of the sauna build part 3. I shall film tonight and then probably upload it tomorrow. The tiling looks amazing. We're so happy with it. But our controller for the sauna has a temperature probe which has to go under the tiles in the wall, and I'd forgotten about it until 3 o'clock this morning. And then it was like, oh no, so I didn't sleep after that. I was racking my brains trying to think how we're going to deal with this problem. So when the tilers turned up this morning, I sort of sheepishly said to them, kind of forgot this bit. And they're like, oh, never. But we've got round it. It's luckily the part in the sauna, the wall above the door where the wire needs to run, they hadn't actually finished the tiling. They'd finished the tiles everywhere else. So just freaky luck, it just worked out like that. So it wasn't a major inconvenience. I think they've just had to maybe take off one tile, which, yeah, I was having mares because obviously I didn't know how far they got yesterday, because they tiled the floor and we couldn't walk on it, so we couldn't go in there and look. So I'm going to bed and I'm waking up in the middle of the night thinking, oh, this is going to be an absolute nightmare. But luckily it hasn't been so. Crisis averted. Hello, Chris. Alex. Oh, blimey. Hi, Alex. You followed me over. Medi, salute to the Plastic Russian and the chat. Thank you, Medi. Maine, USA. Thank you very much. I'm from Siberia. Wow. So you got snow on the top of your head. All the best from the Belgrade region. Ivan, thank you. All the best to you as well. Challenging times, but I've learned in my very short space of time being here in Russia, I've learned that Russians are incredibly, incredibly strong people. And they deal with adversity head on, and yeah, the people talk about the Russian spirit and the Russian soul, and you'll never understand it unless you live here. But when you do, and you won't get it straight away. If you come on holiday, you'll never understand it. But once you've lived here for a while, you will understand it, because it's almost palpable. You can almost put your hands on it. You just know that these people are incredibly resilient, incredibly passionate, have deep love for their country and each other. Of course there are exceptions. There always are in every country. There's always exceptions in a town. There's always exceptions. But I can say that I've never felt so comfortable amongst a race of people. They're just very welcoming, very supportive, and very strong. No nonsense, but if you come here and live here for a while, you know these people are strong. So Belgrade, like I say, Ivan and I appreciate you tuning in. All my best to you guys, and for what's happening. But I absolutely know that it won't go any other way than the way I think we've all known it will go from the beginning, and that is in a victory in this conflict. So good luck to you. Stay safe. How many times did you visit Russia before you moved? Good question, Mehdi. First came here in August 21 or October 21? Wife? October 21 or August 2021? When did we first come here? Or when did I first come here?
October 21.
October. Yeah, October 21. Came here for 3 weeks. I've said before in a stream, but I'll let you guys know again. Didn't want to come here. Had no interest in coming to Russia. I met my wife in the UK. Russia wasn't on our agenda. I was living in my own house, which I sold, and then we were looking for a house in the UK. And the wife said, let's go to Russia for a holiday. And I'm like, yeah, sure. And I just kept avoiding it. I had no interest in coming here. But she had a flat in Napa, and she said, look, we can go and have 3 weeks in the sunshine, and it's going to cost us nothing other than flights, because we've got, obviously, the flat. So it kind of was a no-brainer, and as I've said before, I love my wife, and it's only right that I came to the country that she loves and she's part of, to see what it is, but I didn't want to come here. But we came here in October 21 for 3 weeks, and it blew my mind and changed my life, absolutely. Week 1, wandered around in the days, not understanding anything at all, completely confused, because I couldn't compute what my eyes were seeing, because it just was nothing like I was expecting. Week 2, really curious, wanted to go everywhere, wanted to look at everything, wanted to see everything. What's down here? What's that? How's this? Where's that? Starting to try and read the letters. I think the first thing that I remember reading was Pektopar, which, as you all know, is restaurant, and it's not Pektopar, it's restaurant. But in English, it reads Pektopar. So that was one of the things that I've always remembered. That was the first thing that I looked at, and for a while I kept calling the restaurant a Pektopar. And then week 3, I decided I wanted to build a house here. And it wasn't my wife. She was like, honey, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, I'm absolutely sure. So literally the 3 weeks were the deal maker, if you like. And then after that, we moved here. So moved here about 18 months ago. And I can honestly say, every day I wake up with a smile on my face, every day, I think I am extremely lucky, and I pinch myself to be living the lifestyle that I am here in Russia. It is singularly the best thing that I've ever done in my life, without a doubt. So, yeah, so we came to once, 3 weeks, that's all it took. And it was love. I have fallen in love with this country. Snow. It's 29 degrees centigrade here. Yes, yeah, I know, Alex, I know. It's just the standard response, isn't it? Siberia? Oh, must have snow on your head. People don't understand, and, you know, I didn't understand until I came here. You know, my catchphrase, as I'm sure most of you know, is Russia is snow, bears, gangsters, vodka and horse and cart. That's what we're programmed to believe in the West, and it absolutely is nothing like that. So it really does mess with your head a little bit. So yeah, I know, you know, everybody thinks it's snow. It's the same here, you know. I'm in 29 degrees today, blue skies, you know, been in the swimming pool, and even now I still get people saying, swimming pool? In Russia, you've got a swimming pool. It's like, yeah, also got dolphins on the beach. Beach, you know. So, yeah, the West has done a very, very good job of demonising Russia and making everybody think it's a place that it isn't. So, Mehdi, I think the biggest problem we have in the West, we were never taught the real history of Russia, especially its part in World War II. Absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely. You know, even I remember at school that Britain won the war. You know, and the way we were taught in the UK was Britain won the war and the Americans helped. It's laughable. Well, it's not laughable. It's horrific. It's evil. It's many, many things. When you understand the sacrifice that this country made, that Russia made in World War II to defeat Nazism, it's absolutely astonishing in every single way. And living here, you know it. You find out about it because there are memorials to the fallen everywhere you go, everywhere. The respect here for their armed forces, for their generations, for their families, for their grandparents, it is just like I've never come across before anywhere in my life. You know, it's you know, it's completely normal for your parents or your grandparents to be living with you out here. Very, 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 very common. And like I say, there are memorials everywhere, even in the most tiniest little hamlets that you wouldn't know that are there. There will be memorials to the fallen. Yeah, the sacrifice that Russia made, it's horrific that the West doesn't acknowledge that and teach it, because they really should, and perhaps people would view Russia differently. But, you know, it's been 3 or 4 decades of, probably more to be fair, but at least that of brainwashing to demonise Russia. And Hollywood, I think, is probably the biggest culprit. You know, if you've ever watched any Hollywood action movie, there will be a Russian in it, and the Russian will be the bad, you know, the bad person. He'll be the gangster, he'll be the evil one, and he'll also be the one that loses every time. So, you know, Hollywood has done a very good job of subliminally programming people to believe that Russians are all gangsters, but they're easily defeated. Well, that's Hollywood. That's movie stuff. The real world ain't like that. And, yeah, some people have had a big shock, and a lot more people are going to have a bigger shock. So, yeah, certainly need to know the history. A country that had to completely rebuild itself after a massive loss of population. Yeah, I mean, what Russia has gone through, even the last 30 years, the transition that Russia has gone through has been absolutely biblical. You know, this country has fought tooth and nail to get back out from Western hegemony, Western control, and it is a different place. It's a completely different place. Yeah, I urge you to do some research. If you don't know anything about Russia, I urge you to do some research. and understand what these people have gone through. Then you'll understand the Russian spirit and the Russian soul. You'll also understand that they won't be defeated. Can one travel to Russia cheaply? Phew, dear. Blimey, $64 million question. Depends where you're coming from, I suppose. If you're coming from the UK, then there are several countries that you will fly to first and then fly from there. There are no direct flights from the UK. But, yeah, I would say relatively cheaply. Depends on the time of year, you know, holiday season, whether it's Christmas, yada, 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 all of that. Depends on the flights you have. Depends what airline you fly with. So, yeah, reasonably cheaply. You know, it's not tens of thousands of pounds. It's, you know, less than £1,000 for return tickets, I think. But again, depends. You know, it can be more than that if you're going peak season or something else. Alex Meddy, several times we had to rebuild. Not only Great War. Yeah, the spirit's powerful here. Can't explain it really. No, it cannot be explained. You have to. It's just something that you feel, and you only feel it by being here a long time. And then you understand. And I think the reason you understand it is because you can just see the pain. And that's not accurate, because that implies that everybody's walking around with a dead face and they're not. But you can feel the pain that this country went through and its people. And you can feel, you know, I mean, every single Russian knows what war is and has been touched by it in one way, shape or form. So, you know, they understand it on a level that we will never, ever understand. Alex Meshkin, of course, Napoleon 1812, country will burn, capped down. Yeah. World War II, Eastern Front. Charm Superior, wow, 2 on the bounce. Setting a record now. You've been incredible. Thank you so very much. My absolute pleasure. My absolute pleasure, as I've said. Anytime, anything you want to know, you want to send me a message or whatever, just do it. It's not a problem at all. So, yeah. Prince Alexander, you probably have no idea. New Balance. Yeah. You know, I mean, I have no clue about Russian history, I'll be honest. It's a massive subject. You've only got to listen to Putin speak when he starts talking about Russian history. You know, that man is, you know, he knows Russia. He really knows Russia. He really, really, really knows Russia. Now, a lot of people may not like that or want to hear that, but that man knows Russia and he loves Russia. You can just absolutely feel it. And he knows his Russian history, and, you know, the Tucker Carlson interview, I think, embarrassed that, because not only did Tucker not know Russian history and didn't research it, but he just had no clue the intellectual level that Putin was on. He just, you know, it was like mixing water and oil. He just had no clue, and he came away sort of confused and going, "Oh, I didn't really understand it." No, you just went in there so unprepared to meet Vladimir Putin. You're going to sit down with Vladimir Putin and interview the guy, and you haven't researched Russian history, then you have absolutely, unequivocally failed before you've walked in the door. And that's what Tucker Carlson did, and he just looked like a kindergarten kid, you know, like a rabbit in the headlights. Or as the Russians say, he looked like a deer. If you imagine a load of deer just charging headlong with heads wobbling around, not knowing what the hell's going on, that's what Tucker Carlson looked like. Completely unprepared and didn't understand really what was going on. And Putin knew that, and, you know, I think he came down to his level. But, you know, I think he intended to be challenged. You know, I think he went into that interview expecting to be challenged. You know, the great Tucker Carlson, I think he was expecting to have a tough interview and a challenging interview. So I have no doubt that Putin would have been ready, but I also have no doubt that he prepared for that interview as well. And I think he, like anybody, if you go into a situation expecting one thing, expecting it to be tough or challenging, and you find it's completely the opposite, you start initially thinking, is this a trap? Am I being set up here? And then after a while you realise, no, this is just the level of intelligence I'm dealing with. You come down to that level, and that's clear in that interview. If you ever watch it, that's exactly what happened. But yeah, I urge you to research Russian history. It will certainly help you understand what people mean when they say Russian soul and Russian spirit. Thanks for the answers. That Tucker interview was somewhat funny to watch and sad for America. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. I mean, Tucker, I don't think was here long enough to understand. He was here long enough to have his eyes opened a bit. He was here long enough to go, oh my God, this isn't what I thought it was. But he wasn't here long enough to fully understand. You know, he was, again, a rabbit in headlights, you know, because I think he came here with the same preconceptions that I did. And yeah, I think he just wandered around a little bit with his head in a daze and sort of, what on earth is this? This is not what I was expecting, you know, the underground and the shops and the prices and everything else. So he certainly didn't see Russia. He saw Moscow. That's his first trip. But it was enough to make him realise that what he'd been told about Russia was a load of rubbish, and also make him angry, as it did me, that he'd been lied to so much and that it was so much better than he was expecting. And, you know, as he said, you know, why isn't my city like this? And that, I think, is somebody's first impressions. If you come to Russia and you've got to come for more than 2 weeks. Don't come for a week. You just won't get it. You've got to come for 2 or 3 weeks at least. And then, you know, because it'll take you a week just to process what's going on, because your eyes, like I say, will be absorbing stuff, and your brain will be going, well, this doesn't work. The two aren't matching. So a week you'll just leave confused. You won't really have learned anything. The second week you'll be inquisitive, because the first week you'll have got through, you know, the confusion, the disorientation, that you'll have got through that, and then it'll be curiosity. So that'll be the second week, and then the third week you'll start to understand. So I would say 3 weeks really you need to come here for. But Russia's a big place. It depends where you go. It is a very big place. Cool, caught up with the chat. So I've been asked by quite a few people over the last few months what it costs, or what would be the cost to relocate to Russia. So first off, this isn't directed at anybody in particular. I'm just going to give some sort of examples. I had some people ask about the cost, telling me what sort of money they had, and would it be sufficient to relocate to Russia and live a life like me. And when they told me the amounts that they were talking about, and we're talking around 50 or 60,000 pounds, give or take, I just really, I am brutally honest at times, and I just had to say, I'm sorry, you're delusional. And I think, really, if you think about that, relocating to any country and expecting to go there with that amount of money, build a home, build a life, and not have to work for the rest of your life, it's just never going to happen, is it? It doesn't matter where you're going. That's not going to do it, unless you're going to go to, I don't know, where would you be going? You know, I don't know. I don't want to be trying to single out a particular place, but you know what I mean. You know, unless you're going to go somewhere that you really don't want to go, you know, somewhere really, really unpleasant, living in a shack, that amount of money is just not going to do it, you know. And it's quite staggering, the amount of people that are just have no real comprehension of the real world. And yeah, if that's your mindset, if you think you're going to relocate to Russia, build a house, live a nice lifestyle, never have to work again, and you think you're going to be doing it for 50 or 60 grand, then you just need to change your dreams. We've all got to have dreams, but you need to set realistic goals, and that ain't a realistic goal ever. On the flip side of that, I've had people saying that they've got 3 or 4 million. that gives you a lifestyle, all right? Yeah, I mean, that's out here, that is insane money. Absolutely insane money. $3 or $4 million or pounds is insane money out here. You would live like a king. And I think, I think it's fair to say you would in most countries. So, I don't think that's specific to Russia. That's a serious amount of money. But we relocated to here with around £300,000, give or take. There are people that I've spoken to that have got quite a bit more than that, and they're in an extremely fortunate position. And if they can make it happen, if they can get their ducks in a row, they will have an incredible life. I mean, I love my life. It's wonderful. We're not living in the lap of luxury, but it ain't too bad. I'm not complaining. We've got a nice garden, a nice swimming pool. We've got a sauna being built at the moment and an outdoor shower room. We'll have an outdoor shower as well. So by the time we're finished, we'll have 5 showers on this property. We're not slumming it. I'm not eating in 5-star restaurants every night, but I don't want to. So depends on what you're expecting from life. But if you've got the sort of money of, between £750,000 and £1 million, your life in Russia will be unbelievable. Unbelievable. You'll put half of that if you've got any, not if you've got any sense. This is one way. You could put half of that into property and have that as a rental portfolio. That would get you a visa as a business investor. That would give you your free ticket. You wouldn't need a quota. You would have a 3-year visa to come to Russia. And obviously from there, you can learn the language, or you can start to learn the language before you come. But that will give you a 3-year visa. That will also give you an income, depending on the region, but of around 150-ish thousand rubles a month. And if I tell you that is probably 3 times the salary, the average salary in my region, then that should give you. So you'll never work again. That's your monthly income just off of rent. Still leaves you $500,000. You're going to put a few million rubles, a few 100,000 into investments, which is going to give you a good percentage return, like nothing you've ever seen in the West. I'm talking 15 to 18%, which again then increases your income. And that still leaves you money left over to buy a very, very nice property, buy a car, and enjoy your life. So that kind of money really will set you up out here for life. Your family, having a wonderful life. I'm not a financial advisor, so I'm not going to give financial advice. I'm just telling you those numbers, based on what I know, will provide X. You'd have to do your own research. Please don't flame me if you find that my numbers aren't totally accurate, but they're ballpark, and it's certainly somewhere to start from. So yeah, that's kind of the point of the live stream, really. One, I wanted to just jump on and talk about that very briefly, and also mention the crisis averted in the sauna. As I said at the beginning of the live stream, I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, sat up in the bed and just went, oh God, forgot the temperature probe. Luckily the tilers hadn't tiled the area that it needed to be fitted, so crisis averted, but I didn't get much sleep. And then I had another thought about the shower, because we're not having a conventional shower. We've got one of these fancy things with body jets on and stuff. And then I thought, is that going to connect to the connections we've got? So I had to come out and measure that as well. So yeah, a little bit of panic, but I think you get that with any build. Our developer, we've also popped in and seen them since they came and had a look at the terrace and sort of dug it up. We popped in to see them today to get an update, and they're going to rip it up. Whilst it is hugely inconvenient, I'm not looking forward to the noise and the mess I fully appreciate the fact that they're doing it. You know, it's the second time. It leaked the first time, and before the house was actually built, before we were living in it, it was leaking in the sauna and places. And no mucking about. They just ripped the whole lot. They came up initially and took out the outside tiles of the terrace to have a look, and then decided no. You know, the foreman came around and went, no, that ain't good enough, and they ripped the lot off, the whole lot. And it's a big terrace. You know, it's the wrap-round terrace at the top of the property. So across the back of our bedroom and down the side along the top of the garage. So it's a big terrace, 4 metres by 12 metres on one side, and then 7 metres by 3.5, 4 metres on the other side. It's a big area, and they just took the lot up, redid it, and it looks like maybe one of the processes, because it's multiple layers of different materials, it looks like either one of the processes in its construction wasn't installed correctly, or the actual material itself wasn't prepared correctly, and that is where the breakdown has been, and it's caused a leak. It hasn't caused a leak in the house, but it's caused a leak above my head up there. I don't know if you can see. Let's have a, oh no, wrong way. So if you can see, I shall use my sauna bear to point to the area. If you can see up there and there, water has been dripping down. Now, initially, it looks like the water was just leaking under the guttering and then running along underneath this metal roof and then just dripping down there. But it turns out it's actually coming through the concrete where the join is. It's coming through. So, yeah, you've got to go back to the base layer, which is what they've done. They've dug that up, and I thought they were probably going to patch around the outside, but we spoke to the boss this morning, and he said, no, I just want this right for you, which I'm really grateful for. So, you know, good company, good developer. We've had some issues going through the build, and I think that's completely normal. Some of them have been our fault, where we haven't considered something, like the height of the garage. You know, that was a big mistake on our part we hadn't thought about. So some things we've had to alter through our own ignorance, but you know, we built this house in the UK by email. So, you know, until you turn up, you can look at something on the video, you can look at something on the plan, and then you turn up and you go, oh, yeah, that door opening that way is quite awkward actually. And it's just stuff like that that you're always going to come across, no matter how much planning you do. So we've had some bits and bobs throughout the build. The terrace has obviously been the biggest problem, but I've got to say, every issue we have had, this developer has resolved. So hopefully this will be the last that we'll see of them, they'll see of us, and I mean that in a good way. But it just means it's going to be upheaval, and you know, we've got to see how far. They're certainly ripping the whole of the terrace off right the way across the back of the house, and then we're just going to look at down the side, but I think it's going to end up with that being taken up as well. So big job. Not going to be a 5-minute job, it's going to be a few weeks. So yeah, luckily we're in the south and the weather's good. So yeah, not looking forward to that, but it is what it is. Yeah, so that was it really. Wanted to jump on a live, just sort of let you know about the cost of coming here. Couple of little mistakes that are going on that we're dealing with. I'll be filming part 3 of the sauna build tonight, because they've been making great headway in the sauna. It really looks good, and really looking forward to getting in there tonight. It's kind of like a kid at Christmas, you know, you can see the present, but you can't unwrap it and see what's inside, and that's kind of what we've got. We've got a smoked door, if you like. The other side of that door is a set of steps, and it goes to the sauna and the garage, and that's how close we can get, because we're just going to be in the way otherwise, and I don't want to disturb the guys. So yeah, you know, you hear some noises and you see them going in and out with tiles and stuff. But yeah, tonight I shall get in there and film part 3, probably upload that tomorrow. And yeah, just really chuffed with it. Chuffed with the colour scheme, the way the tiles all blend together. Yeah, it's just really exciting for us at the moment. It's you know, 3 years. It was when we started thinking about this, October 21, so it's nearly 3 years. And we always planned a sauna from the original build from day one. So to actually see it starting to come together now is, yeah, it's really exciting, really is. Right, let's catch up just with a few questions. Alex, it depends if you want to get a feel of Russia. I'd say a month at least. Yeah. If you just want to have fun, 1 week is good. Yeah, I think, yeah, you're probably not far wrong there, Alex. You know, if you just want to come for a summer holiday, come to Napa for a week, you know, and treat it like a Spanish holiday. Lovely sandy beach, lovely warm sea. I mean, the sea here in the summer is like 30, 31 degrees. It's like getting in a warm bath. It's amazing. Swim with the dolphins. Maybe go scuba diving, bit of wakeboarding, jet skis, you know, all of the usual stuff, stand-up paddle boards, all of the seasidey stuff. Water park on the seafront. You know, it's a resort town. So if you just want to have a week of chillaxing, the hotels here are amazing. Lovely food, you know, extremely safe. Just a lovely place to come. So yeah, you can come here and just turn your brain off. You haven't even got to get into the Russian way of life. You know, it's a resort town. But if you actually want to come here, understand Russia, and start to think about moving here, then yeah, you're going to need a lot more than that. Marco, Italiano in Gran Britannia. Please, guys, check his channel out. He's live every day, wandering around London. So if you're looking to see the good and bad and the ugly of London, Marco is there. He's really interactive. He'll talk to you all the time. Any question you ask him, he'll respond to. He's got amazing English, fantastic Italian accent. And he's a very, you can just, you know when you speak to somebody whether they're a genuine person or whether they're, you know, one of life's snakes. And he's a genuine guy. He's a lovely guy. So I hope that we'll meet up at some point in the future. But if you get a chance, please go and subscribe to his channel and watch his lives. He goes live every day, like I say, and it is a real insight. You know, I know London very well, and it's just nice for me to see the good and the bad, and reminds me of why I left the UK and also some of the things that I might miss. So yeah, Marco, sorry I didn't see your message until now, and if you have gone to work already, have a good day. I think 300 grand to 500 grand would be all right for what you're talking about. Yeah, well, you know, we're living proof of that. That's what we've done. So it really depends on the budget. Depends what lifestyle you want to have. You know, do you ever want to work again? Are you coming on your own? Are you bringing your family? Whereabouts in Russia do you want to live? You know, there's all sorts of variations. And as I said in a video that I did, you know, I think it's titled, if you're moving to Russia, watch this. And I start with climate, which, you know, most people, the first thing they want to ask is how much? What do I need? What's the process? And I tell people the first thing really you should consider is your climate. Because Russia's a massive place and it has every climate. And if you get it wrong, you could be in hell. You know, you really could. You could be, for you, you know, if you're a UK guy and you don't like anything above 20 degrees, you could pick somewhere in Russia where it's 50 degrees in the summer. And again, on the opposite end of the spectrum, if you don't like snow and you pick somewhere in the Siberian region, you could have a bad day. So it's really important that you know the climate that you want to get, and work from that. That will help you narrow down. But if you want to expand on that, or you want me to expand on it, just go and watch that video. I sort of detail it and why in that video. And if you've got any questions beyond that, please join the Telegram channel, ask me a question. Happy to answer anything. Derek, hi Derek, good to see you. A little history following World War II. Yeah, over 25 million dead. Yeah, I think it was around 28 million. Russian women took the role as the man in the house, and if you ask a Russian woman, a reminder, yeah, say a painted bear. Yeah. We have no clue in the West, you know, the history lessons we get, the news that we get, it's just all artificial. It is not truthful. It is made up narrative, and it's, you know, about the entire world, to be honest. And you really have to throw it away, bin it off, and start again. Alex, hi Chris, did you think what to do with yourself in a few years' time when you are bored of sunbathing? So, our house, I would say, if you know the UK, there's a saying in the UK, it's like the Severn Bridge. And by that I mean, I don't know if it's an urban myth or I think it's actually true. They start painting the Severn Bridge and they are permanently painting it, because by the time they get to the end of the bridge, they've got to go back to the beginning again to start painting it. So they're permanently painting it. And our house, I think, is a little bit like that. There's always something that's going to need doing. I mean, even now we're still building, you know, nearly 3 years later, we're still building stuff and we've still got more plans. So it's by no means even at a point that I can say, yep, we've done everything that we wanted to do and now we're maintaining it. We're not even there yet. So, you know, it's going to be another 2 or 3 years before we've built everything. Maybe more, because I'm now getting these crazy thoughts, and my wife will kill me. Honey, I'm sorry, I can't get it out of my head, but I want like a grotto around the swimming pool. I want like an outdoor cooking area, and I want, you know, rocks and like a waterfall, and you know what I mean. I've kind of got that idea maybe rattling around in my head. So in answer to the question, what will we do when it's finished, I don't know if we're ever going to get it finished. So I don't think I'm ever going to get bored, because there's always something to do. We just have a very relaxed day about how we get it done. You know, it's not all stress and go. There are days that are troublesome, you know, but you have that no matter where you live. And you know, if you're building a house, there are always going to be days that are challenging, but 99.9% of the time our life is extremely relaxed, and we do what we want when we want. So later on today I've got to do a bit more fencing across the back of the property because of the little cat that we've gained, little Ripple, because the damn thing already is too fast and we can't catch it. So when it makes a beeline for the fence, it will actually get through the fence. So I've got to sort of cat-proof the fence, or try to cat-proof it. If you're wondering why they don't go out, our first cat that we brought here, our Bengal, Rosie, she, we were very careful about keeping her in all the time, and in the end the wife said, look, we've just got to let her go, and if she goes out, she goes out, and if she doesn't come back, there's not a lot we can do about it. And I was really reluctant to do that, because there are dogs, you know, around, and certainly our neighbour over the back has got a dog, and I was like, oh dear. Anyhow, she went out, didn't come back one night. It was a bit stressful, and then went out, came back, went out, came back, and that happened for a few weeks. And then she went out one night, and I was actually downstairs, and she came back, and she has never ever gone out since. And she came back and would not leave my side, literally just cuddled up to me, meowing, was hammering on the back door with her paws and meowing to get in. And I think she's either got chased by a dog or a pack of dogs, or you know, had a fright with a car maybe, but I think she probably got chased by, you know, by a dog or two, and had the scare of her life, because she has never left the property since. Won't even entertain it. She'll walk up to the gate, if you open the gate she just will look at it and then walk away. She's got no interest in leaving the property at all. So she had the fright of her life. That has knocked on to our next cat, Rios, the little black cat. He's actually been over the fence once, because he climbed up the fence, or he jumped up the fence to get a bird, and found himself on top of the fence, and then sort of didn't really know what to do, but was curious, and he ended up jumping over the fence, and then after a couple of minutes of being over the other side of the fence, just didn't want to be there and was desperately trying to get back, so I managed to get hold of him and pull him back. And again, the same thing. I think he's learnt from Rosie that, you know, outside bad. Don't want to go out there, dogs. But our little one hasn't, I don't think, got that mentality yet, so need to fence it in. So that'll be one of my jobs for later. And yeah, I'm looking at YouTube in a different way as well, and seeing what's best going forward, whether it's to stick with the YouTube channel or to migrate over to RuTube, or, you know, maybe another platform. I don't really want to go to Rumble or any of these other platforms. I think my biggest thought really is to stick with YouTube and ride it out and see what it, you know, it will be what it will be. And, you know, the channel will live or die depending on whether people want to view southern Russia, I guess. So, you know, part of it's down to me. I've got to obviously put content that isn't just me sitting here all the time talking. And I will do that, and I'll intersperse it, but I will be doing more live streams, as I said yesterday. So I'm going to intersperse live streams with videos, so probably spacing out the videos a bit more, but doing more live streams. And just to see how that helps the channel, you know, with subscribers, with views, that kind of thing. It's so funny to me how all the Soviet propaganda about the West turned out to be true. Yeah, isn't it? Funny that. Yeah. Yeah, as I say, the difference between a conspiracy theory and fact is about 6 months. And I think that's probably a saying you could impart to the difference between what you've heard about Russia and the truth is about 6 months, because it is so far removed, you know, coming from the West. It is so far removed from what I knew about this country, for what I was led to believe all my life, to a point that it will stop you dead in your tracks, and you really won't understand what's going on and leave you speechless. Can you imagine me being speechless? Talk the hind legs off a donkey. I know the Severn Bridge, I live not that far away. Oh, okay. From your experience, is crypto the only way to transfer significant sums of money into Russia? How safe is it? Oh, blimey. No, it is one way to transfer money, as it is, you know, crypto is a way to move value anywhere in the world, so Russia is no exception to that. Crypto, I believe, is the future. You know, it's not Russia specific, although there have been some laws passed in Russia making it a far more crypto-friendly place, and more laws coming as well to encourage that. Crypto is your new financial system. Financial system changes roughly every 100 years. If you think when we started with a financial system, you know, it was stone tablets with things carved out on them, and the evolution of money, you know, going from struck coins and bartering and gold, and then paper money, and, you know, electronic money, you know, plastic cards, all of this. There's always an evolution of money, and it's roughly every 100 years it changes. And crypto, I believe, is the next iteration of our financial system. It is everywhere. If you start researching it, you will see it is everywhere. And despite being told that it's evil and it's, you know, it's for drug dealers and money launderers, when you actually look into it and you see that all the big banks are using it. So what does that tell you? You know, somebody once said, stick your stick your dime next to their dollar when you're talking about a banker. So yeah, do what they do, not what they say. And crypto certainly is that. It is everywhere throughout the world. So certainly people need to research it. I can't tell you how safe it is. It really depends on the person. It's a vast subject. You need to understand it. You need to get into it. Don't be scared. But you know, I can't say, oh, it's incredibly safe. I can tell you that every transaction is visible, every single transaction. I can tell you it's had a far less failure rate than the Swift system. Swift system currently fails at about 6% of failed transactions, and crypto is like 0.0 something. It depends obviously what coin you're using, but it's much more safe, it's much faster, it's much cheaper. It really is I believe the future of the global financial system. So yeah, it's one thing you need to understand. But if you look at Sam's Russian Adventures, he did a video a month or two back about, I think, something like 7 different ways to send money to Russia. So that'll give you an insight how to move money around. Alex, I know some Turkish, Armenian, Georgian banks have ways of doing it, but you really have to research them out. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What's safe for one is incredibly risky for another. Exactly that. If you do not know anything about crypto, it will bite. It will probably bite. So you have to go in with an open mind and understand it and research it and spend a bit of time understanding what it's about, what it means, how the best way to use it, etc., etc. But ultimately, it's a tool. That's all it is. It's just a tool. It's just zeros and ones. It's just digital, and it's just a way of moving value around the world. So, for me, it's a bridging asset. The particular coin I'm interested in is XRP, and that I'm not shilling that coin. It's just what I've been into since 2016 and understood it and researched it. I like the fundamentals of that particular coin. I like who it's partnered with. I like the business model. I like the company. I like the board of directors, which is, you know, is the who's who of the financial system. And I like the actual operation of it as a cross-border currency. I like the way that it works. You know, you can put anything in one side and get anything out the other side. So it acts as a bridging asset in between. So currently with Swift, you know, you'll convert your pounds to dollars, and there's exchange rates and, you know, fluctual variations depending on how long it takes, because it can be 2 hours to 5 days depending on how long it takes to transmit and yada yada. With something like XRP, it's 3 to 5 seconds. You've got 10, 15, 20, 30 pounds fees with the Swift system. With XRP, it's literally 0.00 of a penny. The only fees tend to come with the exchanges. They'll charge for what they're doing, but the actual transaction itself is virtually free. It's just a very good system. It's a pool of liquidity, and it's going to be running what they call the Internet of Value. So you will tokenize anything of value. So if you wanted to move gold from here to Australia, for example, currently that involves getting on a plane, trying to walk through customs with it, but you know, you imagine walking through customs with a gold bar. It's not happening. Whereas with XRP and, you know, pretty much any crypto, you can decide, you know, tokenize the value of gold into crypto, and then send it using the crypto as a bridging asset and get your Australian dollars out at the other side. You don't actually transmit a gold bar, obviously. It's just the value that it transmits. That's a real archaic and cabbage description, but you know, going into it any deeper is just, you're disappearing down a wormhole, and you guys will get incredibly bored. So if you're into crypto or you're interested in crypto, start researching it. If you've got a question, ping it to me on Telegram, and I'll see if I can answer it for you. Matt, blimey, again? And as you say, blimey, live again? Hard to know when you're on these days. Yeah, I'll tell you when I'm on, Matt. When I pick the phone up and go, well, I'm going to go live. That's pretty much how it goes, mate. So that's what I've just done. We're going to do the fence a bit later to make it a bit more cat-proof. But in the middle of the day, You know, the wife's got a few things she's up to. The tilers are here. We're waiting for people to come look at the terrace, so I'm sort of at the property again today, and I just thought, hey, I'll go on live. So yeah, nice to see you, mate, or see the letters on the screen anyway. What do I do as an average person to get into crypto? Where do I start? Whew, blimey, Alex, it's a really good question. Where do you start? So difficult to answer that without directing you to a particular coin. I think the first thing you probably should do is ask the question in Google, what is cryptocurrency? And then that will lead you into, you know, actually what it is. That will help you understand, you know, I don't believe the future is Bitcoin. But if you mention cryptocurrency to anybody, 99.9% of people will just go, oh, Bitcoin, isn't it? No, it's massively bigger than Bitcoin. But your Bitcoin maxes will, you know, tell you that it's only Bitcoin. Nothing else matters. It's the number one coin. Blah, 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 blah. Bitcoin is an archaic system. It's much better systems out there now. It's expensive. It fails. It's just old technology, and there's much better stuff out there. XRP was developed to be a better Bitcoin. So it took all of the failings of Bitcoin and got rid of them and made a much better version. So, you know, people that bang on about Bitcoin really should not hate on XRP because it's better. You know, it just doesn't make sense, but it makes sense because those people are the ones that have got their money in Bitcoin, so they've got to talk their book. And Michael Saylor is probably the worst. If you've never heard of Michael Saylor, just do a bit of research into the guy. You know, WikiLeaks will tell you who he is. Biggest loser in the dot-com bubble crash, lost billions. So he's not the guy you want to be taking financial advice from, but he will tell you that Bitcoin is the only option. Everything else is junk and everything else is illegal and everything is this and everything is that. Well, XRP is the only coin that has got legal clarity. It's the only coin that's gone through a lawsuit and won, and it's just won its court cases. Won part of it last year and it's won the second part of it now. We're just waiting to see if the Securities and Exchange Commission in America appeals the decision. I don't think it will. It's got 60 days to appeal. It will take those 60 days because it just wants to drag it out and be as obnoxiously awkward as it can. But ultimately, it won't appeal the decision, and that gives XRP legal clarity. So it's the only coin with legal clarity. So, yeah, for me, I don't want to waffle on and on and on and on and on about crypto because I'll be here for days and days and days. But certainly start on Google, type in, you know, what is cryptocurrency. That will start to open your world up, and then you can go from there. Alex, thanks for your advice. Yeah, hey, look, you're welcome. You know, that's all it is. It's just my opinion. It's my advice. It's not even my advice. It's just my opinion. You know, take it or leave it. If it's helpful, brilliant, great. If it's not, you know, opinions are like arseholes. We've all got one. Without being too crude. But, yeah, there we go. So, a bit of a short live stream. I say short. It's been an hour. So, I'm going to wind it up because I'm going to go and do the cat fence probably. And I've caught up with the chat. So, unless anybody watching has got anything specific they want to ask. It's 29 degrees. I want to get the fence done for the cat, and then I want to go swimming again. And then do the video part 3 for the video later on of the sauna. So I'm desperately trying to prevent myself from going through that door and seeing where they are with it. But yeah, I'll be in there later, filming part 3, and yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. Please like, share, subscribe if you haven't. Sharing's most important. Sharing is caring. And thanks for tuning in, guys. Really appreciate it. And if you have got any questions, like I say, join the Telegram group. please ask it there. I'm happy to do a video call with somebody, you know, if you want to know about the region I live in Russia, you know, what's it like, anything at all, just ask me. More than happy to help. So thanks for watching, guys, and oh, can't see that. Cat Masters, Furby Slayer, hi. Yeah, we're gonna have cat nappers written on the gate, I think. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.